newborn deaths. Please join me in welcoming President Hassan to the stage.
Your Highness, Sheikh Muda bin Nasser, Chairperson of the Carter Foundation, Highnesses, Excellencies, Heads of Delegations, distinguished participants from across the globe, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. At the outset, allow me to express my sincere appreciation to the organizers of this important summit. I'm confident that this gathering will boast presence, which boasts presence of acclaimed experts, will be an avenue not only to share valuable insights, but will also be crucial in providing us with concrete outcomes to rapidly expand and scale up health innovations. In this regard, I wish to commend Her Highness Sheikh Muda, Chairperson of the Qatar Foundation, for the cordial invitation and for hosting this summit successfully, and has contributed and consistently over the last 6 years, during which time which has contributed immensely to the literature on health issues. In addition, it has played a key role in influencing government policies on achieving universal health care. It is indeed something that should make all of us around the globe extremely proud. The interest of having a fair, equitable, and health globe is clearly reflected in the extensive preparatory work that has gone into this summit and at the range of experts gathered here today. I'm witnessing firsthand the enthusiasm of key global players in the health sector to drive efforts to promote healthier and equitable access to health services in order to achieve sustainable development. Certainly, today's conference is a step in the right direction, and I'm in full support of it. At this juncture, I would like to say that Tanzania greatly values the partnership with WISH, and we are keen to expand our collaboration around a healthier, fairer, and equitable healthcare system for our people through health innovations in order to achieve the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, African Union Agenda for 2063, and the Tanzanian Vision 2025. And before I go further, allow me to convey my sincere sense of gratitude and appreciation to the organizers for the excellent hospitality and reception accorded to me and my delegation since my arrival in this beautiful city of Doha. Indeed, the excellent standards of hospitality have made us feel at home away from home. Shukran Jazira. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for decades now, many health systems globally have been facing an increasing demand due to changing patterns of demographic, epidemiological, and socioeconomic transitions. Globalization, urbanization, digitalization, climate change, and aging population have overstretched the capacity of health systems to attain health outcomes. The COVID-19 pandemic magnified these patterns and waged division in societies, with the impacts borne disproportionately by the most vulnerable. The old adage says, every cloud has a silver lining, and this is the case with the COVID-19 pandemic. Although it has taken so much from us, it has also given us an opportunity to write a new future that is healthier, safer, and fairer. The pandemic provides us with a worthy lesson that health is not a cost to be repressed, but an investment to be prioritized and nurtured. Health forms the core foundation of socioeconomic and political stability. The pandemic provided countries with an opportunity to enhance preparedness and progress towards universal health coverage based on a solid foundation of primary health care. It is disheartening to note that many of the developing countries did not heed the opportunity that COVID-19 provided to undertake an integrated approach, but resorted to fragmented financing, planning, implementing, and monitoring. This approach did not address the prevailing inequalities and disproportionate impact of health emergencies on marginalized and vulnerable populations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic's social and economic impacts were felt in myriad ways, making a one-size-fits-all approach to mitigate these effects working inadequately. We often overlook the fact that safe and resilient health facilities need to institute systems, procedures, and capacities that addresses prevention, preparedness, response, and recovery. Why am I saying this? Because we in the Global South have experienced and tackled epidemics in the past through local innovations. And this story was not the same for COVID-19 pandemic, as most of us waited the vaccines from the West, thinking that that can replace the good or the innovations and resolutions, local innovations and resolutions. But we forget sometimes the excellent comes in late, or miss something critical, or is over-engineered. In practice, resilient health system has to earn the trust of communities it serves. We no more ask ourselves, is it well prepared the way we know? What are the constituents of the whatever is brought into our places? So we have a lot to know before we believe on whatever is brought in our places. So what many fail to understand is that most of our countries, the pandemic did not construe the health sector, but did cut across all sectors, and thus requiring an all-inclusive, multi-sectoral approach. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as COVID-19 slowly easing up, concerted efforts is what is needed to match the advent of new epidemics. I wish to advocate that the spirit of multilateralism must be invoked at all times when it comes to epidemics and pandemics. The injustice of COVID-19 should not feature in future calamities. The right to vaccine equity should be a right for all, not a right for few privileged, leaving a major part of the world out of the health innovations journey. And leaving a major part of the world out of the health innovation journey is injustice to humanity. We have to heal the future. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the future of healthcare sector requires improved health outcomes or innovations. Therefore, local innovators should be encouraged to develop their own sustainable path to improve health outcomes. There's also a need to increase evidence-informed guidance and policies in low and middle-income countries to strengthen health systems and improve their receptiveness to innovations. It is our collective responsibility to design and implement innovation that will improve quality of health or health services according to our circumstances and make healthcare safer and affordable to the population. Excellencies, allow me now to share some few examples from Tanzania. My country experiences in some of the health innovation that have demonstrated impact to the population. Like any other sub-Saharan country in Africa, Tanzania has utilized the opportunity of rapid increase of mobile digital technology to establish various innovative interventions, such as M-Mama mobile platform, which connects the pregnant women to the emergency transport to safer health centers. Manufacturing of mobile incubators is another innovation that facilitates referral of neonates from one facility to another. This initiative has significantly decreased neonatal deaths in one region. The next step is to scale up this innovation to the remaining regions of Tanzania mainland and Zanzibar. These two innovations have significantly served or saved the life of mothers and children. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, despite the progress made in innovation in Tanzania and other countries in sub-Saharan Africa, we still face a number of challenges to enable their scale and diffusion within the health system. Such challenges include lack of skilled human capital, infrastructure, and funding to facilitate scaling of innovations, among others. I, therefore, urge you all to take this opportunity to seek ideas and discuss best ways on how we can address these challenges, especially when innovation is focusing to address people's needs and when we use locally available resources in order to minimize cost and ensure sustainability, and when innovation for life-saving conditions are readily available for non-commercial use, and when collaboration is key for success, and innovations that focus to invest on young generation will have bigger impact in future. I once again thank the Carter Foundation for hosting this event. The United Republic of Tanzania is committed to ensuring that innovation will continue to be its priority in health and development. I thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, President Hassan, for those powerful and important words. Our next keynote speaker is a biochemical engineer, entrepreneur, and innovator. He's co-founded more than 70 life science and technology startups over his 35-year-long career. He's the co-founder and chairman of the board of Moderna, whose mRNA vaccine for COVID-19 has saved millions of lives. And he's the founder and CEO of Flagship Pioneering, a company that creates bioplatform companies to transform human health and sustainability. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Nubar Afeyan to the stage.
Your Highness Sheikh Moza bint Nasser, and Your Excellency Sheikh Hind bint Hamad Al Thani, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's wonderful to be here in Doha, and especially to be here at WISH. Gatherings like this spark the conversations and commitments that can bring about the healthcare future I think we would all like to imagine. One in which good health is the norm and experienced equitably across the globe. One in which disease is preempted and prevented well in advance of its debilitating effects. As the saying goes, adding years to life and life to years. and one in which pandemics are stopped in their tracks before they start. I think we can all agree that we would wish for that and more. Now I'm going to ask you to join me on a journey of imagination today, using what in my view is the biggest mental faculty we have innately as humans. Because our particular moment in time requires imagination, every bit as much as it requires ingenuity, resilience, diplomacy, collaboration, and hard work. I hardly have to say what imagination can do when put into action here in Qatar. Seeing the country rise during the past decades is a very good example of how large leaps can be made as a result of highly imaginary plans, the right resources, and execution. While we may be approaching an endemic stage of COVID-19, we've lost to this virus more than 6 million lives officially, and more than likely over 22 million lives if you include the unexplained deaths during the period that COVID has been around. And I believe we remain unprepared for future pandemic threats. Add to this the war in Ukraine with its far-reaching impacts, driving up prices in global food, energy, and fertilizer markets that increase the cost of living to levels not seen in more than a generation. Inflation worsening even further by extreme weather events like climate change. And all of that factor into converging to stoke social unrest and tensions that tear away at the fabric of a just and peaceful society. Now, imagination may seem trivial in the face of these challenges, and you may even consider it particularly strange that a scientist is willing to talk about fantastical imagination when in fact rigorous scientific inquiry seems to be at direct opposition to such fantasy. At my company, Flagship Pioneering, we think of these things as indivisible. In fact, we believe most big leaps and breakthrough science have their origins in imagining a future scientific possibility beyond what seems reasonable, and then subjecting that to the idea of Darwinian evolution, Darwinian selection pressure. This union of imagination and rigorous science work together in a future backwards process that reveals whether a previously unimagined possibility, what we call today impossibility, can become a viable reality. Critical to this process is learning learning to resist the urge to discriminate against these far-flung ideas, creating space for us all to feel comfortable positing and defending seemingly silly, crazy ideas, because they in fact are the seeds to the next generation of innovation. I am founder and CEO of Flagship Pioneering, a company of professional innovator and entrepreneurs that conceives, creates, resources, and develops first-of-their-kind bioplatform companies to transform human health and sustainability. Every single Flagship company, and we are now on number 91, internally generated life science companies, begins with an imagining, specifically a what-if question. The point of this starting question is to imagine a future outcome or capability unconstrained by what seems possible today. What if we could uncover and use certain viruses that colonize our bodies naturally to deliver therapeutics safely and repeatedly? Exploring and eventually answering this question led to the creation of Ring Therapeutics. What if a subset of microbes that colonize our guts can be isolated and delivered in a pill to restore a healthy microbiome? This question led us to create Series Therapeutics, pioneering new approaches to treat often fatal recurrent C. difficile infections and other diseases. What if microbes can alter the health of crops, such that if we add them to modern seeds that are devoid of microbes, we would increase yields and drought resistance dramatically? This question led us to create Indigo Agriculture, which is now extending the science to enable carbon capture in agricultural soil, thereby decreasing carbon emissions and enriching farmers through a scalable approach. What if we could create detailed corresponding maps that connect all known proteins to their underlying DNA, such that machine learning-based algorithms could allow generation of novel proteins, proteins that nature has never seen. This question led us to create Generate Biomedicines, a leader in using AI to invent novel and potent biotherapeutics through our 18th life science company in 2010. That company is now known as Moderna. I'm incredibly proud of our team in Moderna and their round-the-clock efforts to develop and deploy our life-saving vaccine. After 10 years in development, the pioneering platform Moderna had created and tested with $2 billion of private investment was ideally positioned to rise to the greatest biological threat of our generation. Over the past 2 years, mRNA technology invented by Moderna has been combating the virus, which in turn also uses RNA to infect our cells, pitting our immune system against the